Back in the day, at places such as fairs, there would be staged rail accidents. These were usually managed safely when performed. It is a staged disaster after all, but one time this performance got out of hand. This is the story of the crash at Crush. Crush, Texas was a place located in the middle of nowhere, founded on September 14th, 1896 as a publicity stunt from the MKT Railroad, popularly known as the Katy. On the day before the exhibition, there was a speed test to figure out the precise point of the collision. 2 water wells were drilled and a circus tent from the Ringling Bros was erected. The 2 trains that were used in the crash were obsolete engines. The price for a ticket to the event was $2 at the time. Each train would pull 6 boxcars loaded with railroad ties. September 15th, 1896. The railway expected around 20,000 onlookers to watch the crash. However, double the amount showed up. The 2 trains reversed down the line at around 4 p.m. for about a mile. When the time finally came at 5 p.m., William Crush, the man who had organized the event, signaled for the 2 trains to start charging towards each other. The 2 crews of both trains jumped out of the trains just before the crash, and then the 2 trains collide and their boilers explode, sending scalding hot steam and plates of metal right into the crowd. 2 people were crushed by the flying debris, and dozens of others were injured. The crowd responded in a more unusual way than you would think. They ran to the locomotive to collect souvenirs. George Crush was immediately fired, however later rehired after the event received worldwide recognition for the stunt, which caused business to boom. Scott Joplin, a famous ragtime music composer, wrote a piano ballad about the crash and commemorating the victims. The song was called the Great Crush Collision March. Brian Burns would also write his old song about the crash, called The Crash at Crush. This stunt was probably one of the most corrupt demonstrations of capitalism, brutally killing people for raw money. The MKT itself would later close in the 1980s, joining the Union Pacific Railroad. Stage wrecks like this would still happen until the 1930s. All that's left of the engines today is an unidentified piece that was salvaged by the crowd. It currently resides in the Katy Depot Museum in West. This wasn't the only staged collision that year, as there was another one at Buckeye Park in Lancaster, Ohio. This disaster left the question remaining: was the crash at Crush a success or not?